Hey everyone, what's up? It's gonna be one of my first videos on my YouTube channel, my gaming channel that is, and probably my very first Valorant upload. I was lucky enough to get into the beta, and being, a big fan of CSGO back in the day, I really like this game so far, and I want to take some of the stuff I used to use from CSGO and help people out who are probably just starting the game out. So this video is going to go over the practice area, which you'll run through at the beginning of the game, but I want to emphasize the importance of it and how to use it, because I used to use maps and stuff like this in CSGO and it really improved my gameplay. So when you first launch the game, you'll just come to this screen. It's going to be up in the top right hand corner. I'll just hit practice, and when I usually start off, I do shooting test. And then I usually go to these, but they're all connected so you can progress through the match. So I'll just go enter range. Alright, now that we're in, you just choose your agent. Anyone will do. You really can't practice your abilities in the training range. I usually just do my shooting, because the abilities are more like a use case scenario in the match itself. Alright, and once you load in, you'll be set up right here. If you follow the tutorial, you did this where you shoot the bots and stuff. I usually don't start with this. I usually skip over here. You have some distance training over here. I usually don't do this much because I can just do it right here. This is very important to me. Now, if you're a fan or avid player of CSGO, you will know that every weapon has spray patterns. And if you learn the spray patterns, you can know exactly where your shots land, and you can control that in your favor. So to practice my spray patterns, this is usually the first thing I do when I get on the game for the day. So I'll spawn in, I'll come over here, and if you hit F3, oh my bad, you have to come over here. I usually hit F3, infinite ammo off, and hit done. The reason I do that is so I get a feel for the pattern within the clip itself. If I have infinite ammo, it'll keep going, and I won't have to reload and get used to it in like a actual game scenario. So I usually do it 5 meters. I set it up here, and I'll show you what I mean by spray pattern. So I'm going to just hold down the trigger. I'm not going to move the mouse at all, and I'm going to just watch where the bullets land. So if you'll notice, as I was holding the trigger down, it went up, it went to the left, and then it went to the right. Now to control that, you'll do the inverse. So you'll just go down, then you go to the right, and then you'll go to the left. And there's a specific pattern for where each bullet lands. I'm not there yet, nor do I doubt anyone else is at the moment. But usually I'll just hold shift, and then I'll go down, left, right. And it wasn't that great, but that's better than just holding it down and hoping for the best. So after that, I usually clear it, toss the weapon, and I'll do 10 meters. And I'll just hold it down again. So as you can see, this is where spray patterns really come in handy, because if somebody's that far away and you just kind of spray, you're never going to hit them. So while my spray isn't perfect, this is kind of what I got right now. So it's not perfect, but I mean, at the beginning of my clip, I did hit most of the shots where I wanted them to land. And that's kind of the main idea. You're never going to spray the gun full auto like that. That's just never going to happen. Usually you're just going to pull it down a bit, pull it down. You might have to spray a little more. But that's kind of the main idea. So the whole goal with this is you want to guide the bullets as best to your ability. And usually I'll start off with a different weapon. I just do these two the most because those are the weapons I use the most. But you can do the SMGs. They all have different patterns. So for example, this one, let me do that one more time, just check it out. So I usually do it a couple times when I start, just to get a feel for it. Go down. So I just, the pattern goes up, and then it goes to the left, and then it goes a bit to the right. So it's like the AK, but it's not as extreme. So that's just the main idea behind that. I do recommend trying this at all distances. Obviously, like, engagements this far are very rare. Yeah, engagements that far are very rare. In real matches, you'll probably not, you know, encounter this much. And at that point, you'll probably just burst fire like that. And to burst fire, I see, for the most part, my shots were on point. For burst fire, you just want to bring it down just a bit every few shots. And if you do want to practice here, you can. It's not that big of a deal. So after I do that for the day, I come over here. And be careful, because I've accidentally shot these before and it's thrown me off. And I usually turn infinite ammo on here. And the first thing I do is I do easy speed. There you go. They'll pop up, and you'll shoot them. And it's just reaction training, so it's nice. And the easy speed lets you ease into the harder stuff. So I just finished it. I was just kind of screwing around. The score I usually get, I get around like 28 usually. I'm not that great, but it just helps me. And this, I used to have maps set up like this in CSGO where I do that. Now after I do easy, I just go through medium, then I go through hard, and I usually do eliminate, an elimination streak on strafe. And what that does is they spawn in, they kind of walk around, and it makes it easier to practice tracking the target with your spray patterns. And so that's cool, because that's usually what's going to happen in a real round. So it does really help. Once you're done with that, I usually come over here, portal, and then we do spike defuse training. So you can start it off just normal with easy bots. I usually don't do easy bots because they're ridiculously easy. I'll usually go hard. I keep infinite ammo off, and we'll go ahead and start it. And I usually put myself in the worst case scenario. So I got a pistol. I usually buy like light armor. I do my abilities just cause. And it makes it very hard for me, but it gets me practice in. So where I need to aim. So I'm by no means the best player out there. I wouldn't say I'm bad, but I like this and having them on hard because it's actually what will happen in real matches. Because if you have them on easy or medium, the reaction time is just not that great. And if I'm actually playing around, I have to really ease into the corners and focus on my crosshair placement. And that's a big thing this teaches, is crosshair placement. So what I usually do is here, I'll start one off on easy just for a demonstration so I don't get destroyed. So what I mean by crosshair placement is you'll see with my crosshairs being here, I'm anticipating seeing an enemy where their head is going to be. So right there, I missed the headshot, but it was very close. I only had to adjust just like a pixel. So using that as a reference, I'm seeing this ledge is up. I'm going to move up a bit. Nobody's there. I'll move it down when peeking here. Nobody's there. Cool. See, right on. See up there. So this exercise really trains just anticipating where they're going to be, and it allows you to really focus on that crosshair placement that I see a lot of people miss in gameplay. I notice a lot of people walk around the map like this, like literally like this, and then a lot of people, they'll be crossing corners and the crosshair will be here. Well, if I'm an enemy, I'm sitting here and my crosshair is here. When I turn this corner, it's gonna go bop right there. So that's a big thing I focus on, is keeping my crosshairs right where they need to be, no matter what, and adjusting to the environment around me. So if I'm crossing the corner here, again, like I said earlier, notice that ramp up. You go up there, boom, boom. This is why I really like this training course, because it gives you a lot of scenarios that are actually in maps. And like in a lot of maps, since I'm Jet, I can get up on these boxes, and a lot of people don't realize that. And this map does that for you here, where you have to focus up on here, where typically you wouldn't expect somebody at this level, at this height, but it gives it to you here. And that's what easing into corners does for you. You can really observe the environment, so before the enemy sees you. Because if I'm sitting here waiting for you, and I'm over here, I'm gonna see this before that person over there sees me. And that's another thing when you're turning corners. You want to do it at an arc. You don't want to be right next to it, because notice here, in real life, if I was standing right here, my shoulder would be peeking right here. So if I'm sitting right here, I can't see anyone. But if I'm right here and I'm like in this little like peephole right here, I could see you despite me not being able to see out there. So that's another thing you got to focus on. When I usually turn corners, I think of like a half circle almost. I'm going, I'll turn, boom, boom, boom. That way I can see him about the same time he can see me. And as I'm turning, I don't want to turn like this, because the closer I turn to the angle, they're going to see me faster. So I usually turn like that, and like that. So like for example, say somebody's sitting like right there. If I was to turn the corner like here, like this, he'd see me first. Now if I'm going to turn like that, we'll see each other probably about the same time. Alright, on to the next little obstacle course. This is just like a plant scenario. So I have the bots on easy right now just for the sake of demonstration, but we're going to focus on that crosshair placement again. And if I notice where like about eye level for me is, it's going to be right here, I can assume that's where the enemy's heads are going to be. So I'm going to go like that. I don't see anyone. Peek that corner completely. Alright. Got him. Now we'll just check those corners again just to make sure. And remember, don't do close. Full. Anticipate. There's no point in me looking over here, because that's not going to be the first area I can see. Right here, the first area an enemy would see me is going to be over here. So I'm going to look. Boom, right there. If I had walked up and I was looking over here, he would have saw me first and I would have been done. If I was looking over here, he would have saw me first. That's why I went here. I'm like, okay, who's gonna see me first? Probably someone here, because I can catch them out of the corner of my eye, and I just peeked over there. So walk around, and obviously like this little segment here, for the sake of this obstacle course, is to be like, don't plant, because there might be somebody here, and they usually spawn a bot in here. So I'll just stop this again. Alright, to further emphasize my like corner peeking strat, where you go like that, I'm going to show you what happens when I peek close to the corner. So I see someone there, got him. And I'll plant it. And then usually after I do my pistol, I just go to my AR. And I practice lining up those headshots with the Vandal. And because the Vandal is one hit kill on the headshots, so this is a very good weapon to master. And And notice how on that first guy I didn't get a headshot, but all my shots hit on target because my little burst fire trick with spray patterns. This is a great opportunity to be able to practice your spray patterns. Alright, after you do that a couple times, usually I'm ready for a match after that, honestly. This was just like a quick little video. It might be a little sloppy, but these are just like some quick little tips that I usually do before I play around, and I've noticed it helped me. So yeah, if you like the video, just subscribe, like. I'll be doing some more Valorant videos as this game seems to be getting some publicity, some more, you know, recognition, and I think I'm really enjoying it. I see myself playing it alongside my other games. Definitely not my first choice in game, but I like it nonetheless, and I want to help people get better. So, you know, just stay tuned, and hopefully I got some more videos out. Peace.